All right, to this point, we've done about 27,000, just over 27,000 in total revenue on. It's over 500. It's about 550 roughly, but yeah, it's over
Great,
500 orders.
great. Hey everyone, I'm Joe Robert.
Hey, and I'm Johnny.
And today we're going to talk about how he scaled his print-on-demand store to over $27,000 in sales. Well, Johnny, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the time. Why don't we start? Just tell people like where you're at with the store. How many dollars in sales have you done at this point?
All right, to this point, we've done about 27,000, just over 27,000 in total revenue on this store.
Awesome. About how many orders off the top of your head is that? Do you know?
It's over 500. It's about 550 roughly, but yeah, it's over
Great.
500 orders.
Great. When did you guys start the store? About how long has it been open for?
It was last September, so we just came up over a year on this
Awesome.
specific store.
That's great. Rapid fire questions as we get started here. What would you say is like your average profit margin on the site? Again, just ballpark. You don't have to like give me your tax return or anything like that, but like in general, what would you say an average profit margin is?
Yeah, so our biggest seller is really, we sell a lot of hoodies, and these are
Cool.
just regular hoodies, and the profit margin on that's actually been pretty good. It's about $27, but
Great.
take ads out, our cost, everything, it's could be closer to $10 and above. It just depends, but yeah, 27
Sure.
before all our ad spend and costs.
Sure. Cool. That's awesome. And I believe you guys sell those at like 55, I believe. We were talking about this prior, so I'm pretty sure that's, or was it like 54.97 or something like that?
Yeah, $54.99 is our base price on the regular hoodies.
Cool. So 27,000 in sales, about 500 orders. You've been open for roughly 13 months. When you started to like make sales, because I remember when you got the 1K mug, the POD Ninjas 1K mug. I remember when you got that. Talk me through like what that was like when the store like started to do well. Like when you started to realize like, wow, there's actually something here that we can scale, that we can run with. Talk to me about that. Tell people the story of how exciting that was.
Yeah, no, for sure. That initial 1,000 actually came from more of a general store that
Oh, cool.
was experimenting on, but it just wasn't really getting us to where we needed to be. So,
Sure.
but it was kind of proof of concept. Hey, this POD approach really does work. So then kind of just, it definitely brought the excitement. It was like, okay, this is for real. I know you come across some other, people on YouTube where it makes it sound easy, or it's not easy, but it was like,
No,
okay,
definitely
you
isn't.
can actually make sales, but we knew we needed to niche down a little bit more. So we did
Sure.
then open up another store and started seeing more sales coming through that way. So the excitement was there and the proof of concept was there.
Cool. So you guys started on a general store, and for people that are watching that might not know what a general store is, it's basically a store that does a little bit of everything, right? Is that kind of what you guys were doing? Like you had a bunch of different niches on there, a bunch of different products, and eventually you moved it to a niche shop now?
Yeah, you know what? So this is our third store. The first one was total general store, which we really struggled with. It was
Sure.
just two. The designs were all over the place, no niche. And then it started a little bit more of a niche store, but more kind of in a local market, and started making some sales there. It was just not going to scale. But we
Sure.
saw that niche was working better than general. So it's like, all right, now we just need a better niche with a
Sure.
much larger audience. So
Sure.
then transferred to a whole new niche, and then things really kind of started to take off a little bit more from there.
Awesome.
So we bounced around quite a few different ideas on what we could niche down to. And really what it came down to was like, what do we enjoy?
Mhm.
What do you enjoy? What do I enjoy? What do we know about? So we really kind of based it on different interests that we had, and then went from there. I think it kind of gave us a little bit of an idea of already how to talk to our audience,
Sure.
kind of what they're looking for already, so that we just went from our own knowledge really with the niche.
That's awesome. I think probably that helped a lot, basically a lot too, because you guys were on a general store previously doing lots of different niches, and then you had a different store that was more of a local market, and then you were able to kind of create something that ultimately became successful, but is kind of at the same time a little bit of a passion project. Sometimes I see people that are kind of floundering with POD for a little bit. Maybe they are not getting success, maybe they're not getting any progress, and maybe they're lacking motivation, and maybe that's because they're doing a store that really they have no interest in themselves. So I think that's definitely a cool piece of your story where you guys actually pivoted to a niche that that you really love. Before we talk about marketing, because you guys are doing some really cool stuff with marketing and like Facebook groups, ads and stuff. Before we do that, what are like your top 2 products that you sell on the site, and we can show people like the suppliers they can go to get them?
Yeah, right now, just a regular pullover hoodie has been our best seller. That
Awesome.
and different kinds of bags, whether they're
Cool.
tote bags, weekender bags, things like that have done pretty well or for us
Sure.
as well. But yeah, hoodies right now, especially coming up on into the fall and into the winter, really been a good go-to.
Cool. And those are both from Printify?
Yeah, both from
Awesome.
Printify.
Cool. And do you guys have a Printify Premium account?
We do. I think what is it, maybe $10 a month, or it's not that expensive, and it's kind of
I think it's 29, but it pays for
is that
itself.
what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of you make a couple sales. If you're going to dive into it, it's kind of
Sure.
I think a no-brainer.
Sure. Anybody watching this, if you don't know what Printify Premium is, it gets you 20% off of every single item with Printify. If you're making sales, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you wanted to get a free month of Printify Premium, just a quick plug, Johnny, you can use code NINJA50. That's NINJA50. To anybody watching that wants to get a free month of Printify Premium. When it comes to marketing, I know you do ads, I know you do Facebook groups, and you guys also do Instagram, like growing an organic following there. Where would you say out of those 3, the most of your sales have actually come from?
Most of the sales are coming from ads. It's quick traffic to the website, running these conversion ads that do well. So
Sure.
when we're looking for sales, ads are kind of our go-to, but we are getting more organic sales from building up a larger Facebook page and then a private Facebook group. Email list, we've got a decent sized email list, which doesn't perform as well just yet, but being able to talk to people directly inside a group or to your page, we're kind of banking on that investment. Might take a while longer, but we think it'll pay off in the long run.
Sure. Awesome. When you say ads, you're talking Facebook ads, running them on Facebook. Are you also running ads on Instagram too?
Yeah, we're doing placements Facebook and Instagram, running a couple different kinds of ads, whether the conversion ads try to make those quick sales, those impulse buys, but we also spend just $1 or $2 a day in building up likes on the Facebook page, and then funnel into building up a group.
Nice. How much per day overall are you guys spending on the ads?
You know what? During kind of slower down season, we would call them $10 to $15 a day. As we ramp up to the holidays, last year we were doing about $50 a day, 50 to 60 per day. This holiday season, hoping to jump up $7,500 a day.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And the reason I ask is because sometimes, when people see someone like you that's done some sales, like 27,000 on their store, they'll say, oh, well, like what kind of ad budget do I need to, replicate that? And I think sometimes people have it in their head that, they need to spend $2,000 up front to get started with ads or something. And not that over time you might not spend that much, but the daily spend is a lot lower than a lot of people might think. And I think you're proof that, right now you said you're about $15 or so. I would definitely say as you go into the holidays, if you're able to make the sales, increase the ad spend, you will make more sales. Talk us through though, you mentioned something that's kind of unique. You said you're running ads at $1 or $2 per day to generate likes for the Facebook page. Pretend that I have no idea what you're talking about and explain it to me.
Yeah, so you can set up ads, and the main objective on there is just to get somebody to click that like button on a Facebook ad. You want to be very specific in your ad targeting if you're a niche store, because you don't want likes just to have likes, which we found. So we target our specific audience, and it's just an image ad. People hit like, and we get hundreds of new likes per month just from that.
Sure.
Definitely recommend it.
Obviously,
like I said, $1 a day.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I know when you said it, I knew what you meant. I wanted you to explain it for people in case they were watching and didn't know. I think it's awesome. You guys are running ads. You're spending $1 or $2 per day. People are seeing the ad. Your goal is to get people to like your Facebook page. Once someone liked your Facebook page, how are you actually turning them into, more than just a random like? Like, how are you potentially bringing them into your Facebook group that you mentioned? How are you getting them to see other offers from you and try to get them to become a customer?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways we're doing that. You can go in and just manually invite people to your Facebook group. We do that. There's even a bit of an automation where Facebook sends these automatic invites to the group.
Sure.
At times, we also do just run a secondary ad to the people that have liked the group to have them join or have liked the page to then like the group. So we're doing stuff like that, but we're also then taking those people and running giveaways where we can maybe collect their email address or running additional retargeting ads of people that have liked the page or that type of thing. So there's a lot you can do once they start engaging
Sure.
with that initial, just like,
Yep, awesome. Talk to me about the group, because the Facebook group, you guys are basically, and I know this from talking to you previously, is you have a Facebook group set up for your niche, right? And let's say that my niche was gardening. I could create an account or a Facebook group and I could call it like gardening community or something like that. And the goal is to get people in my niche to join that group and participate. How are you guys using that group though to sell? You know, if I'm someone starting a group in the gardening niche, how can I replicate what you're doing with your group in mine?
the number one thing we're doing, I mean, you can promote your products within the group.
Sure.
We try to do it a little sparingly, as so it doesn't just become a spam,
Right.
a bunch of nonsense every other day,
Right.
product. But the engagement in the group is, I mean, it's unreal compared to the regular Facebook group, because I think everybody just likes sharing their stuff on there, their photos, their ideas. And once you get on the group, you can just tag everybody in the whole group. Hey, here's a special we're running. And it just seems to get a lot better engagement than just a page.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You guys are creating a community around your store. You know, here on the channel, in my training videos and stuff, I talk a lot about doing that with, Facebook pages and Instagram pages, but not so much groups. So I did feel like that was kind of a unique thing that you guys are doing. Are you guys posting in the group too? Like not just promotional stuff? Like, are you guys creating content? Awesome. What kind of stuff? Like, are you guys posting like memes, or, I know you mentioned that you guys are passionate about the niche. So, like, do you guys have anything like from a personal perspective that you share in there?
Yeah, we'll share some personal stuff in there, photos, images, good quotes that fit our niche. We'll maybe then post a new design to try to get some feedback before we actually release it, which, once that community grows, it becomes really valuable. They're very open to giving some opinions. But yeah, so just a number of different approaches.
Awesome. How many people are in the group?
Right now we've got about 6,500 in the group, 10,000 on the page.
Great, that's awesome. So basically, to summarize, if I was someone, again, if I had a gardening niche store and I opened up a Facebook group called like Gardening Community, if I wanted to replicate what you're doing, I would basically post pictures of my garden, maybe like inspirational images about gardening or gardening memes, but then maybe like once or twice a week, I would make a post kind of promoting some of my products and maybe exclusive discounts or something like that. And you feel like that would be kind of a good strategy?
Absolutely. And I think just encouraging the people in the group to be sharing their photos and their advice, because then it really becomes a community instead of you just becoming right. Exactly.
Awesome. That's a really cool thing that you guys are doing. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot for a moment, Johnny. If you were to like choose something to be like some sort of advice for someone, like let's say someone's watching and maybe they're in a similar situation where you were at one point, where you discovered POD, thought it was awesome, you started something, and didn't really get the results that they wanted with it. What would be your advice? And again, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Anything that you could, share, with someone who's watching that might need some help?
I would say don't let perfection become the enemy, because you can really go down the rabbit hole with some of this stuff before launching your site. You can tweak designs and the layout of the website. And I mean, you can spend months tweaking and making sure it's perfect. And then just once you think it's perfect, the next week you're going to look at it again and go, oh, that's maybe not perfect. And you start, so just kind of dive in, because once you start diving in, you're going to learn a lot.
Sure. That's great advice. That's great advice. I always tell people there are certain things that are never going to be the difference between you making 0 sales and 100 sales, and a lot of times the things that people spend the most time on are not things that actually make that big of a difference, where they'll create like 12 versions of their logos, or they'll create like 6 different versions of like a header on their homepage or something like that. And to your point, they overanalyze, they focus too much on perfection. And I'm going to probably butcher the quote, but I think there's a quote that says like done is better than perfect sometimes, meaning just get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect when you launch, and ultimately over time you're going to change things, you're going to improve things, and you might as well get started so that way you can work on some of that stuff as you go through. So that's really good advice. Thanks for the time, man. I hope people watching got something out of this, but again, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here and share some tips, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You give away a lot of just great information to everyone. So yeah, I really appreciate all you do. And I think everyone else, be patient with it, work on it, and just keep learning, because there's always something to learn.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video.